A secular country building churches with your tax. They are funding arts. They are funding pilgrimages with your taxes. They are building churches on student campuses, on university campuses, federal university campuses. Building. You see, the people that were called to this confab, many of them are being paid by taxpayers' money. You see, many of these kings and many of these urban, many of them, they are being paid by taxpayers. In fact, people that you didn't vote for, they are being paid by taxpayers. Just imagine that. With your money, people that you didn't vote for are being paid with your money. And they are there to rewrite the constitution. They will be coming to rewrite a constitution. You think they will write that out? I mean, these are problems that will not be addressed, that we must address. And the why is important. The reason why we should limit executive power, the reason why we should limit the power of the president. There are reasons for this, So, what is the constitution? And that is the first question to ask, because there is a confab that will be held in Abuja, I think, and I don't believe most of the people going there actually understands what the constitution is. So, what is the constitution? The constitution is a set of principles and laws that a country will be governed by. Principles. And the important word is principle, not value. Principle. The American Constitution, which is the best constitution ever written, according to the Americans, and I believe them, actually reflects the values of the country. And the Nigeria's constitution doesn't actually reflect the values of the country. And that is where the problem, the very origin of Nigeria's problem actually starts, The values of the American Constitution isn't written in the American Constitution, but it's written in the Declaration of Independence. Nigeria's constitution wasn't written by Nigerians, right? It wasn't written according to our wishes and our style and our conclusion of how to be governed, we should be governed, and the laws we should adopt. But now, I don't think that is what they want to actually discuss. And they are not in the room. Honestly, you might not believe it, but the people that are being called do not actually understand what the conditions should be about. To this confab. And that is what I hope we can actually achieve in the coming months, because I really want to get in on this conversation. I really want to, personally. Seems impossible, right? But I will tell you where Nigeria's condition is, and where the problem, even the problem of the confab is. You see, what the confab will not address is Sharia law. It won't address Sharia law in the north. It won't address freedom of expression. It won't address freedom of speech. It won't address many things, And the constitution will lack philosophy. At least if we leave it to them. The American Constitution itself lacks philosophy. There is religion present in it, but it lacks philosophy. You see? But my hope is that we can write something better, at least in Nigeria. That is my hope. The Nigerian Constitution isn't really a constitution, in my opinion. It is just a bunch of contradictions. You see? And these are the things that it will not address. It doesn't address the claim that we have freedom of expression and wearing camo is banned. You can't actually wear an hijab in a film. to actually as a costume in a film, and you would use it to steal or something. You can wear a non-cape, right? But you can't actually wear an hijab. The recent that was a movie that was actually about to be released recently, and the title was Badagry. And Lagosians. And this is because they think that the problem with the law is always the north, some Lagosians actually said no, that this movie will not be released this way. And Badagry is a very good location, and we can't actually we can't allow this. The constitution says that it's freedom of expression, but this isn't allowed. There isn't freedom of expression there. And the most important question in a constitution, the most important topic in a constitution is who makes the law. According to the North, they believe they are the instrument of God. Those God uses, Allah uses to actually enact this law. That is why they feel like you can't actually drink beer. They haven't checked, at least biologically, how of course alcohol is bad for you, but they are not making their own premise on biological reasons. It is about God. You can't actually be a DJ or something like that in Bauchi also. The new law and other crazy laws, recently, you can't actually criticize Muhammad, or you end up dead or in jail. Mubarak Bala was just for actually stating a fact written in the Quran that Muhammad actually slept with a 9-year-old, which would actually make him a pedophile by today's standard. But Islam is supposed to be, the Quran is supposed to be an eternal truth, but somehow you can't actually criticize that. So we have contradictions in the Nigerian constitution that shouldn't even stand. The values of the constitution are not usually written in the constitution. They are written in other documents, like America's Declaration of Independence, God's laws. In there, it has religion, it lacks philosophy, but they also have religion. The creator, that the laws are endowed by their own creator, and this truth are self-evident. If the truth are self-evident, how come they have to actually spend so much years after the Declaration of Human Rights before they can actually give rights to black people? If the truth is self-evident. So, in that constitution, there are actually problems. They said God laws, that God actually gave humans rights, the rights are different all over the world. You see, and these rights, the human rights in the American Constitution are only extended to Americans. In principle, America doesn't extend that freedom to actually choose your own leaders in other countries now. So, the values of the Constitution is actually basically the national identity of the Constitution of the country, which isn't reflected in the Constitution. It is the Constitution is based on those values, and that's actually a problem, because the Nigerian Constitution and the people that are being called to actually discuss these things do not understand this. Even many of these issues I've raised, if they were to write the Constitution today, those issues will still remain in the same Constitution, and we're supposed to be one people. You see, that is actually that is a problem, And we in my next series, I will handle the philosophy of the Constitution, because I want to make this a series, and when I do the whole thing, the whole what Azikwe wanted. Azikwe was trying to separate the judiciary, legislature, and all of those things. He himself doesn't say why. Doesn't say why. They don't understand why. You see, the people that were called to this confab, many of them are being paid by taxpayers' money. You see, many of these kings and many of these Oban, many of them, they are being paid by taxpayers. In fact, people that you didn't vote for, they are being paid by taxpayers. Just imagine that. With your money, people that you didn't vote for are being paid with your money. And they are there to rewrite the constitution. They will be coming to rewrite a constitution. You think they will write that out? That your taxes won't be paying their salary? People even vote for people that are just there by the virtue of their birth. So there are contradictions in the constitution, and the most important problem that the question we must answer is who owns the law? Are these human laws or God's laws? And you see, that actually opens a box that we will not close if we were to engage in it in a 1-year conversation in this country. Are they God's laws or human laws? So the next rules will actually explain every single thing, the values, the principles of what a constitution should be like. And I'm desperately trying to get into that conversation, because we are the adults. Honestly, we are the adults in this room. Honestly, trust me, you and I, that we actually believe that you find this video actually worthy and what something. We are the adults. Honestly, this is up to us, not to those people. We will consult them, but trust me, we have to do the thinking. We have to actually bring these questions to their presence before they can actually understand what the problem is.